Okay, let's go.
Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I want to interact this session. So this is episode 4. So I'll be doing this with Dr. Williams here. We'll talk about anything, especially with autism and all those things and how she became a research officer and all those things. How you doing, miss?
Hi, I'm fine, Lauren.
So what is like, did you just want to be a research officer or you had to think about it first?
Well, um, actually, my area is mental health and working with children who are vulnerable and at risk. And part of what I do as a PhD graduate, a major part of the work is research, right? So, and specifically applied research is research that makes a difference. So it's not just collecting data or getting into people's business, but really digging deep to find out what is happening, what are correlations, what are factors influencing certain behaviors and actions and so on, and then using that information to make a difference, whether it's to create a project, develop some form of intervention, so that there is evidence informed practice. So I would say that it's just part of the trajectory of my professional life. Yeah? So when the college applied for the post, before I was the counselor temporarily here, and I said, it's all connected, it's all interrelated. So, yeah, so here I am.
I mean, doing anything mental health related is a big deal, I think. Mental illness be taken for granted. It's not really one of the things you see. And if you were a person were there to tell you, oh, I have mental health issues, person may scoff at it. No, if it was physical, they may take it a little serious. But mental health is one of those things that don't really get taken, it's one of those things that don't get talked about enough. And I don't think person understand that mental health is the most important thing in anything, whether you're playing sports or you're playing schoolwork or what she's doing and all those things. And another thing I've learned that is that your body and your mind work together. So if one part tired, likely up is tired too. Or if the mind is tired first, whichever you guys want to look at it, doesn't matter. And they work together. So you have so mental health is one of those important things, and being able to, so when you do a feel like this, that's why my person do where she's doing counseling or do psychology courses or social work. I was like, what? And then when I found what psychology is, I said, wow, what you're doing is a very big deal because you can actually help others with this by doing topic like talk about mental health or everything. Want to know what others think and all those things.
Mm-hmm.
When you know what person think, but it comes down to knowing the person. If you don't know the person, usually you can find some trouble because you don't know the thing and all those things. So gotta commend a person like you for doing this stuff. This research officer researching about helping us who are most likely vulnerable, and because when person like get help, because there are times when person like when they get vulnerable about certain things like this, the other time they want to throw in a towel or drop out. Let's say in college, drop out of school or something like that because most of it is mental. So I was always mental. So what does working on mental health makes you feel like? Like you have somebody who's more vulnerable and they're able to make it far and all those things. So what make you feel knowing that you can like inspire persons by
Right.
you know.
Well, first of all, I'll say, Lauren, is that people don't take it seriously because sometimes because people can't see, as you said, behavior. Behavior is more measurable. People fighting, people cursing, you could see, you could feel it. But in terms of mental health, it's something that's devastating. The lack of proper and healthy mental health could be devastating for us. We don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
The depression, it's, people can do that silently. You don't know what's going on in somebody's mind. They can smile and they're really sad. And people like me, we're trained to get into your heads and to find out, what is happening and how could we help, how could we guide you, how could we work together with you, and also how to help others to work with you. And therefore, that's what to me makes the difference. So, like, I am always pleased when I meet students like you, Lauren. You're diagnosed as autistic, you said. And when we met in 2022, I felt I was so encouraged because here I am. You're one of the few at the college who were autistic, and yet you were just pressing on. You're high functioning. The college accommodated you and made you feel comfortable, I think. Yeah? So knowing that I was here at that time to support students like you who would have been regularly being marginalized, it makes a difference for me. And then there's the other side. Sometimes we just, again, going back to measurement of our outcome, sometimes it's years after when we meet a student who is an adult in a big job or doing something there like 10, 15 years after, then they will come back and say, Miss, that time when we met and you told me this, and I can't even remember what I said, but that child then would have been told something that now 10 years after, it did make an impact on their life, right? So we get the feedback, not instantaneously, but certainly for me, I can tell you I've been in this area for over 27 years or so, and I have seen results, and I can tell you it is only time, many times, that confirms to us that investing our studies, our time, our energies into learning about mental health and how to keep ourselves mentally healthy, it's only time sometimes that tells us what the outcomes are.
Yeah, I mean, with everything, for me personally, it comes down to, I've realized it comes down to mental, so I realized, okay, I went to a lot in high school, and especially when during neurotypicals, and even coming in here doing the same thing, we've been around those person long enough, it's like, and I realized over time, it was a lot then, even not known, but I had learned how to adapt and be like, well, okay, so that's what's going on. So I learned to do it accordingly. And I just got to a place after a while, well, being here even before, it's like, I mean, first of all, money college to take me in, I mean, I gotta say thanks for that. I don't think person understand this and they take this part lightly. They could have kicked me out when they find out about the autism thing. They could have kicked me out. I said, I don't think we can do is him. Let's kick him out. They could have done that, and none of the students can say, oh well, they get kicked, unless of course whatever else. But for the most part, they could have really kicked me out.
Yeah.
When I was joining this club, ATSM club, when they found out, they could have kicked me out of that too. So anywhere I go, I could later get kicked out of S, Y, and Z, or you meet at church and all those things. They found, but autism and they always knew. I found out they knew all along. They could have kicked me out for that. They didn't. So it's like when I get opportunity to do certain things, I'm like, and that's why I realize it's really great to be humble, because it's like you're literally one of those persons that get kicked out to anywhere you go, and that's really one of those things that. So when I go out, that's why I guess that's why I tend to miss emotions at times, because I never know how it's gonna go. Literally, I don't know how it's gonna go for the most part, and how a person make it easy being positive. I mean, I gotta say salute to that. I mean, I can't really just say, well, I think this day will go well today, and then. So I really can't approach it as how most other people approach a day, and that's the. Now, I mean, yes, today is a new day, and so you should approach it like that accordingly. But I've learned, even though it's a new day, the same thing happen. This particular can happen, come back on whatever happens, and all those things. So it's like, so it'd be a lot. So for me to ultimately going to graduate now, come November, I mean, so I have some feeling that, because I got to pay my final year or two, I was like, you know what? If I pass this, it sounds fantastic. Because if I got 1-on-1, I get to get the degree, I got 1-on-1. If I don't, then I'll just it was disappointing, obviously, but knowing I came this far to begin with, and knowing to finally everything work out at the right time,
Yes.
then it's like, so it was. So what was it like interacting with me back in 2022? Want to know?
What was it like working with you?
Interact with me.
Interacting,
Yeah,
interacting, because I was going to say that I don't want to put on record what we did, but anyway, just following the ethics of the practice. But but generally, to me, you were an inspiration to the students here. Because students would come and tell me, like one time when we did a presentation on the stage, yeah, and I remember a student saying, Miss, I was feeling to give up, but after seeing Lauren on the stage, I feel so encouraged. Yeah? So I think that was important. That was very impactful. So just interacting with you, I felt you were a good ambassador for the autistic, and not only autistic, but just students who were feeling like they just didn't want to continue. They felt challenged. And then to see you, because you made it known to everybody that you're autistic, but you're going, that's good symbolism. Okay? So it was always a pleasure. But sometimes you'll come to me because the other thing with Lauren, right? Lauren wants to monopolize my time all the time. So he comes and said, what are you doing, Dr. Will? And I have to, you all know that what comes with the autism, you'll find somebody you could relate to, so you want to own them. And you and I talk about this all the time, so I would have to just help him to say, Lauren, right now I have something else to do. I don't want to turn you down, but and he understood. So we have this kind of good relationship. So even though now he's gone, so he come and he found me in the office to take me away again. But we understand that, right? So it's so for persons out there, it's just understanding the condition, understanding when, and not just autistic children. I've worked with children with varying abilities, and they relate to you. They want to stick with you because many times, as you said this morning, that you don't know who else to go to. Some people show that they are impatient. They don't give you the feedback, the encouragement. So I just want to encourage persons out there to be patient, try to understand the autistic condition, constantly explain and set boundaries, and, do the eye contact and help them to, just feel like a regular person. And we have this conversation about the superpower.
Yeah.
What's the superpower that you come with, and we build on that. So, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I agree with the boundaries. That's why I didn't mind it, because, if you're saying, as long as it's not one of those things where you're like, you want to push me away, I'm good.
Yes.
If it's that, then, but if it's like, okay, it's when I see it, I'm like, okay, all right, fine. As long as it's not an excuse, because I've learned a person can say they're busy, but really they don't want to talk to you and all those things.
Yeah.
To deal with that, taking person as a word, I still try to do that, but at times it's difficult because person's not really consistent with it to begin with. So when I see inconsistent, I'm like, that just made me want to be like, no, I'm confused, because then I'm like, okay. And I said this, I'm like, just like, when I'm comfortable with you, you also can know when I'm not.
Yes.
So it's like, that's research. So I'm like, just so you can tell when I'm comfortable, when I'm want to see, then you can also tell when I'm not. So it's like, it's not that complicated if you really pay attention. So it's like, if I'm not comfortable somewhere, you'll see instant, I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna, I will pull away. If I am comfortable, then, well, I should say then.
Yes.
So,
So I have learned a lot about you over the years that I've known you, in addition to what I know theoretically and with what I know working with other children who may have been autistic or had different diagnoses. But certainly I learned Lauren, and I learned what worked for Lauren, what doesn't work. I know, for example, I told him, meet me in the office today for 1 o'clock. So at at 12:59, I knew to put down everything because that door is going to be opened. And so said, so done. He was here exactly 1 o'clock. So minimizing vagueness is important. Sticking to the word, or sticking to your word, just being genuine. They pick up when you're not genuine. Yeah, and it creates further confusion and further feelings of rejection. So, yeah.
I mean, with this rejection thing, I mean, I feel like I get rejected all sorts of ways. It's ridiculous, whether it's physically, emotionally. Every time you get, well, Lauren, S1C, da 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 da. I'm like, and I don't typically realize how much stuff like this, if I'm on a regular basis after a while. I mean, I always say it, but I'm like, and then when the kid, I said, okay, I don't want to get S1C again, so I'm just going to have to act accordingly, and then, So once I realized, I've learned to pick up the inconsistencies after a while, been around it long enough to pick up the inseconds. I'm like, okay. And then I would try to observe other people too, because you have to do that as well. But then I realized, like, normally how if one person treats you nice, they might do the same thing. That doesn't help in my person, that this doesn't always apply. So no one that I can't always be like, well, if this person be considered like they make consistent with you, well, not really. So consider and you're different to begin with, so you can't really expect person to do the same thing that the other person. So it's like, so I have to be like, okay, gonna have to accept such and so okay. What do you think colleges can do to include more autism students or autistic students in the inclusion? Because thinking, I may have heard that person getting aware of it, no, okay, that's a positive, but at the same time, not really seeing the actions coming towards it. So I can't really believe it 100% unless I get to a point, where I'm like, I have to see it before I believe it, because even I believe I need to see it, because like, so either I believe it first and see it, or both. But for the most part, I just need to see it first and then I believe it. So I heard, okay, person in the workplace or whatever person with autism, now I'm like, yeah, I'll have to believe it to see it. Because I have heard this before. I've heard a person say certain things and then they mean something else. So it can be confusing altogether. So,
yeah.
And then you think, unless I've realized I have to constantly doubt every time, and person they think they don't really have to doubt around me so much. I'm like, in my head, and I picked that up after a while. I was like, wait, what the hell? How is it fair? All right, but I'm willing to do it. I'm like, how is it fair? And the person don't realize you're putting me in an unfair situation. Life is already done unfair already. And then you want to put me in more unfair situation where some unfair situation like, okay, fine, you can't say that's unfair. Other unfair situation, I think it's ridiculous. Like, me constantly doubt, and then, for example, if I'm walking with somebody, most of the time I have to walk towards their speed. I can't walk over, I'm walking from walking with the person. I like to walk fast most of the time. But if I'm walking with somebody, I have to walk towards their speed. If I want how I want, then likely I know after end up slowing down. So it's like there are other scenarios as well where even when I'm going out, I have to make sure I'm ready first, because if I'm ready last, I'm gonna get rushed. And even if I were to express, don't let me rush on those things. So there's occasions where if I'm out socially or in a retreat, same thing. After that, what's going on, I can't really. If this always settled, I have to start act accordingly. And most times I'll be like, okay, this always said, I'm gonna have to just not take it personally. So there's that. So yeah, as I said, how do you think universities in general can help to incorporate autism? Because I'm sure,
Well, first of all, I would think, Lauren, that we need to do the sensitization of staff, of students, so that they would understand the condition, similar to what you've been doing here while they were at the college, and you are testifying today that helped. So if we can expand that would be good, as well as have the support systems, because you're moving at a different pace. Therefore, there are also the need for the concessions and for some lower functioning autistic students, that support personnel in exam rooms, right? I think that, because you got concessions here for exams, remember that? And you had you got help in the room and so on, and to make sure that we knew where he was sitting, where there wouldn't be much agitation, people moving too much. Remember the distractions, the sounds, because of the hypersensitivity to sound. So I remember I was ensuring that those kinds of conditions would be in place for you for exam. So yeah, so it's the whole sensitivity and working with the mental health or wellness department of an institution would help to raise that awareness and have that kind of responsiveness to your needs and other students like you, their needs. Yeah, and at a more macro level in terms of not, living to that saying of leaving no child or no young person behind, so that once they are assessed at the level that they can function at college, at university, we accommodate, we make sure the provisions are there so that they are able to work with whatever is their superpower. Yeah? So.
Yeah, I realized, I mean, when I got the help from her, which I appreciated very much, I felt like, because before I was always in my team with advocacy of myself and understanding. I started in 2019 really, but then I realized she can only advocate for herself both so much. If that person have it back, then I realized, if these students wanted to decide, you know what, I'm going to look out for Lauren, even though they're busy doing their own stuff, because they're busy, these students busy as heck. But if they really decide they're going to S1C, then, or if they decide, okay, we're going to make sure his needs met and other things. Because I always try to, everybody have their own wants and needs and whatever they want and needs. Or I try to, but then most of the time, probably not realizing, man, is probably get pushed in the back burner as heck. I mean, I've realized I could be a burner to anybody, so there's that. So then a lot of times where I'm like, you know what, maybe I should just, if I feel like I'm a little
disappear. But I'm happy that you never disappeared.
Yeah, I could have taken the easy way with multiple many occasions, but been like, you know what, I'm done with it here. This is crap because I can't. But because it's like everybody needs is being met for the most part. Everybody have their own needs met, but then my needs get pushed on the burner.
Yeah, so we can pause a bit.
So we're back. I mean, when it comes down to helping persons with, but as I said, by wants and needs, and when person need get pushed back to the bottom consistently, even though they don't talk about it, they have. When I know it's person, I internalize, person makes it not healthy. Okay, I get it, but still, when you're trying to express yourself and you keep getting rejected, what am I supposed to do? You can't be able to internalize. I gotta do something with it. So it's like I gotta do something with it. I would rather try to internalize things than just mash up things left, right, and center, and So I don't like to kind of break off the buybacks. I don't want to deal with that. So I might as well just, like I said, when she helped me up with the setting certain accommodation in place, that was into my final year. I realized if I were to ask the examiner, there's a part that it may not be met. It takes someone else to help you to have it back and all those things. So I realized, as I said, if these students were like, you know what, we're going to do X, Y, and Z despite the busy schedules, then I'm thinking about no, I could have had a better experience here at college, even though I've learned a lot ultimately. Speaking to a certain person like her, Nurse Brown and Miss Brown, Nurse Brown told me in the front of what did I not talk about autism that she basically took me on the win. I didn't even know that she said that. I was like, oh. I didn't know. I wish I could say that I didn't. Yes, so many things I don't unless you tell me something like that then.
Yeah, but we also have a far way to go in the country with respect to, working with autistic persons, especially when you compare to what's happening in the more developed countries. And I happen to have a nephew, as you know, I told you, who's in England, who has it. And when I look at the support that he's getting, he's now in his final year of college as well. He's going to graduate with his diploma in game design. That's his superpower. He's really creative and so on. And I looked at how he was able to the system supported him from baby coming up. So unfortunately, for like you people have to find out. But for him, they diagnosed him early and then started a full individual treatment plan. So the system rallied around him. We need to get there. That's
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
mean,
saying. That's where we need to get. So that we don't meet you by flop. You know, it's just by the way, oh, we met Larry and he's autistic. We should have systems where from early you should have been diagnosed, your records would have been transferred from institution to institution, and we know how we would have an individual treatment plan, education plan to work with you. So that's what I see the future of working with autistic persons in Jamaica, and by extension the Caribbean for those countries that haven't gone that length. But you've done good, Laren, navigating this space, I would say, on your own. You're your own advocate. You're the,
I mean, I'm not going to for
yeah.
y'all. I mean,
And-
her sharing their face a great example of what happens when it really, where's a rally around persons like that. He's doing big things. I mean, he's going to, I think he's going to do more big things in the future.
Yes, yes.
I mean, he's going to have ups and downs, but even the ups and
Yes.
downs, when you have a person rally around you, then
And that's
things
what
get a
we
little
need.
easier. So I suppose to where
Yes.
you have to do things on your own and not get certain
Yes.
support that you need and all those things. So it's like,
Yes.
I mean, like I said, my high school experience could be better. The crazy thing, I was diagnosed at an early age. My mom knew at an early age. When I asked persons for in this video, when I go around asking persons if they knew about autism, most of the answer was yes. So they knew. So it's not like they didn't know anything. My mom knew at an early age. I was one of my cousins at the time. She knew. Yeah, that. I was like, it was crazy when you go around and then you find a person knew about them. Like, so you knew X, Y, and Z. You know, oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
If they didn't know, that's a different story. But they knew. So it's like, say it was in a situation they didn't know, and when they about me, I had to make up my mind, say, screw this, I'm just going to tell everybody if they want to use against me, they can go ahead, and if they want to rally around me, fantastic, I'll take it in a week, I appreciate it, but if not, well, I'm just going to have to do what I got to do, regardless, which, still at the retreats, that could have been a better experience, it was good nevertheless, because I found a way to,
Right.
you know, so, okay, this is the end of my interaction video with Dr. Williams. Thanks
Yeah.
for doing this with me. She's a busy bee. When I first did this thing, I was like, you know what, I'm going to have the boss ask her. I don't know if it's going to work out, but I'm going to try anyway. All right, that's all. So I really appreciate you taking time.
And I'm happy I took time to do this, Lauren. I
Yeah.
look forward to looking at it. I
Yeah.
hope it inspires others out there. You know, again, just continue being the advocate for autistic children and children with other needs, you know, in general. I think that's my purpose, coming here to work with the vulnerable, the marginalized, the at-risk. That's been my life story as a professional, and my mother said even as a young child, I can't even remember, she said, I'm always trying to fix things. So, you know, sometimes we come with a purpose, and I want to encourage you out there to continue supporting the differently abled, continue supporting good mental health. Yeah? So, Lauren,
Yeah.
thanks again.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
And I know this is not the end. You'll keep coming to look for me. And
Yeah, I guess like probably not. So yeah, video.
bye-bye. Yeah.